Hey guys, how are you doing? How are the kids? To make things not awkward and to introduce him to you guys, this is Birdie. Birdie, you want to say something? You want to say something to the camera? That was an important message. If you can speak bird, you just learned a life lesson, bro. All right, so over the course of a couple months, what is this dude doing? Where's he going? He's camera shy. Over the course of a couple months, I've recently picked up the hobby of reading. Behind me, there's some books, and I've only read one of them, but that's not important. I recently picked up the hobby, and me being the person I am, I love to look at the best things and the worst things in each category: movies, books, games. It doesn't matter. I love knowing, you know? So I went over to Goodreads, sorted by the lowest possible book. One of them was a book that I'm not going to consider a book, so it doesn't count. And then right underneath it was this mysterious book I've never seen before. This book is called Reaper's Creek. I saw it. The cover looked a little weird. It had 1 star. Do you know how hard it is to get 1 star on Goodreads? It's pretty hard. And then I noticed something. I looked at the author of the book. It's Onision, bro. Onision, the banana guy. So I don't want to go into too much detail about Onision. There's tons of videos about him. And frankly, I'm pretty terrified to make a video about him because I don't want to waste my time going to court for him to sue the wrong person. Never forget that I'll never forget when he sued the wrong Chris Hansen, bro. That was so funny. Anyway, I thought to myself, you know, why don't I just read the... You guys something to say? You guys heard that, right? He's talking trash back here. So I thought to myself, you know, why don't I waste my time in this world reading this book? It's not that long. It's only about 180 pages. And it's not the length of the book that I'm worried about. It's the content. I'm pretty worried about the content. So I'm going to do you all a favor. I'm going to read it myself. I'm going to tell you guys what I think. I'm going to write down little notes and I'll come back to you later. Also, I'm a big fan of physical content. So if I can obtain something physically, I usually do. But I don't want to support Onision by buying his book physically. So we're gonna have to whip out the Kindle for this. We're gonna have to whip out the Kindle for this book, and then I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy his book. I'm gonna buy it and read it on here. I'm gonna buy it. Don't sue me, Onision. I'm saying that I'm buying your book. Definitely not PDFing it. I'm buying it. All right. Well, let's get to reading. Birdie and I will be back with our synopsis, our points, and let's just get this shit over with, dude. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know what I just read. I'm not even kidding when I tell you this. I really felt like I just read the manifesto, the diary of a serial killer. If you couldn't guess, the book was not good. It was not good, and I felt like I wasted a big portion of my life reading that. Basically, this book follows a child named Daniel. He's 11 years old. Of course he has my name. Of course. Why wouldn't he? Basically, Daniel finds some sort of creature, and he has powers. Bro, I have no idea what I just read. It would go on to these really long spiels about how life sucks, how parents suck. The book would just not stop. Onision just would not stop writing about absolute nonsense throughout the whole entire book. It honestly felt like if you were to tape someone's mouth shut for 20 years and then tell them after those 20 years to say everything that they saw with their eyes in 5 minutes. That's what this book felt like. It felt like everything that was crammed into Onision's deranged brain was just spilled out onto the paper. I could almost not keep up. There's punctuation errors. There's spelling errors. It's all over the place. Run-on sentences, words that just run into walls, things that don't describe things properly whatsoever. I didn't want to come in and start attacking the book immediately for its subject matter. I wanted to really look at the writing, you know, really see how Onision writes. And he doesn't write good. It's not good. It's horrible. I never really pick out bad writing. I always see it as like a stylistic choice, or that's how they write something. That's how they describe something. This writing's bad. It'll randomly go from how his life sucks. He'll just be talking about how bad his life is. Then he'll start talking about how much of an amazing person he is. And then he'll start talking about his superpowers. And let me just show you guys this. In the beginning of the book, it says this. Let me just read this to you guys. Before you read this book, I want you to understand something. All of my books, they are not works of pure fiction. These are stories from my own life mixed in with my imagination. Many of these things told in these stories reflect on who I really was, what actually happened, and what was going on in my mind. Wow, who would have thought? After reading this book, I would have never guessed that. As you read, I'll leave it up to you to decide what events really happened and what is a product of creativity. Creativity. I can't do the finger thing because I'm holding the book, but these are throughout the book, you're supposed to think, is this Daniel talking? Or is this an Onision experience? Did he go through this? No, this is all Onision. Besides the superpowers, this is Onision. I'm guaranteeing it. I'm not even kidding. I was trying to tell you guys the female love interest of the book, but I already forgot her name. So let me go check real quick. Okay, her name's Julie. Her name is Julie, all right? With the introduction of Julie, we're going to talk about the subject matter, and I'm just going to put a trigger warning here. This book is weird. This is a weird book. So Daniel is 11 years old, and Julie is around 14 to 15 years old, and yeah, there's some scenes in here, if you know what I'm saying. Not only is that weird, in my opinion, for any author to write, just the fact that it's Onision, and he was probably 20-something when he wrote this book, it just makes me so uncomfortable. Throughout the book, I probably counted at least 4 or 5 scenes with them interacting in an inappropriate adult matter. And they are a little bit more detailed than I would have liked. I wouldn't have liked it at all, but they're a little bit too detailed. And it seems like that's the only point of Julie in this movie. It seems like that's the only point of having Julie in the book is for Onision's weird, creepy sexual desires and for him to write about it in detail. It was so uncomfortable reading throughout the whole entire book. Can you guys picture him sitting there writing a book about children having sexual intercourse as a grown man? It really makes me uncomfortable. Usually if I'm reading a young adult book and there's teenagers in it, middle schoolers, high schoolers, there's usually a little kiss between them, cute little kiss. No, this was not cute. You can basically just go down the list here of anything you can think of that's inappropriate, and it's in the book. It's in the book. I don't know if I can say this on YouTube without getting banned, but this is for educational purposes, and I think he needs to be held accountable for this stuff. So there are strong sexual themes in here between children. There's straight up pedophiles in the book. There's also a hate for God in this book, so if you're super religious, don't read this. Do read this if you want to laugh, because it's funny. It's funny because of how bad it is and how extreme it is and his opinions on things. It's just downright hateful. This book is so hateful. Religious or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the book, he literally, spoiler alert, if you wanted to read this book, you don't. At the end of the book, he literally kills God at the end of the book. Do you understand how narcissistic you have to be to write a book about yourself, about the powers that you have, and how you killed God yourself? It just, dude, just saying that out loud just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real. The fact that this is the second book that I've fully read makes me very upset. Was it worth it? No. Was it worth it for the video? No. I don't think I'll ever read another book ever again. I actually might have to throw this out because if this gets confiscated by the FBI now, we're going to have some issues because I have this book in here. Okay, so the general synopsis of the book is that Onision is a mega chad. Onision's a mega chad. He gets all the girls. He's the perfect boyfriend. Parents suck. God is dead. And Onision, once again, is the mega chad. I've done some research online, been on the Reddits. It seems like his other books are basically the same exact thing. Onision is the girth god, and he's better than literally every single person on the planet. And he gets any girl he wants because that's just who he is. He's that guy. I'm going to rate this book a 0 out of 5 stars. I'm not even going to give it a 1 nor a 2. It's a 0. I got nothing out of this book. I've learned that Onision is a weird, narcissistic, power-hungry, pedophilic dude. But then again, I didn't really learn that. We all kind of knew that. This is not me saying that he's a straight-up pedophile, right? So don't sue me, Onision, if you can spell my name right. I'm just saying, from what I've read, that's the impression that I get of you. And I do not like you. This book put me in a really weird headspace. It felt like I was in someone's mind. I felt like I was in a troubled mind for a little bit. And for a portion of it, I almost felt a little bit sad and a little bit uncomfortable. Did I say uncomfortable already? I felt as if there was just nothing that you could do to help the person writing this book. This person is too far gone. This person is lost in their own head, lost in their overly impossible ambitions, such as killing God. It just seemed really manic and kind of upsetting. So not only is this book disturbing when it comes to the subject matter, it's also disturbing just reading. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great night, great day. Don't pay Onision to ghostwrite your books unless you want to end up in prison. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great night. Did I already say that? Yes, I did. Peace out, guys.